most to us, offering a comprehensive range of inpatient, outpatient, and emergency care services so you can get the quality care you need right here at home. San Juan Regional Medical Center, celebrating life better here since 1910. Wednesday morning here on KSJE. It is time once again for another lesson about life in the Sandbox from Ron Price. He is, of course, the noted author of the Play Nice in Your Sandbox series of books, because it happens in, at work, at church, and at home.
Right.
Right?
Very good.
Okay.
Very good.
See, I was trying to remember how they are on my shelf.
That's right.
Yeah, but good to have you here. Welcome back.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you.
We've been talking, for the last several weeks about these relationship germs that can infect, and if they're not treated, I suppose, really cause some damage and ultimately maybe even kill a relationship, right?
That's exactly right. And as the professional radio host that you are, Scott, you're going to tell our listeners how they can go back and see those if they missed them the first time.
They are available, right, wherever you listen to podcasts, or, of course, they're available to watch on the KSJE social media pages on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
I knew you were going to do that. See, that's why you are Scott Michlin.
I don't know about that, but you are Ron Price, and you're here with the anecdote, so we can't wait for that either.
Again, the germs: escalation, negative interpretation, invalidation, avoidance, withdrawal, and no fun. I can't help you with the fifth one today, but I certainly can with the first four. And that is to call a timeout the correct way. The correct way. Can I say that for emphasis?
Does that not include slamming of doors?
You know what? You're onto it there, Scott.
Okay.
But it's funny you say that, because the common way to call time out, if a conversation is starting to escalate, it's starting to get louder and more attacking, if you will, one person will typically say, you know what, time out, and they'll storm out, and they may slam the door on their exit. That's exactly the wrong way to do it, because you've left the other person wondering, well, wait a minute, are we ever going to talk about this? Are you rejecting me? Are you rejecting our relationship? They don't know. And as we shared last time, the one who wants to talk about an issue is probably well motivated. They're not out to cause trouble. They're out to fix problems. And if they see you just storming off, they go, well, I guess they don't want to fix it. And they can form all sorts of conclusions that you probably don't want them to form, because you didn't tell them why you were walking off. So here's the deal. The correct way to call a timeout is to call the time in. In other words, I say to you, Scott, I am too upset to talk right now. I'll be back in an hour, and we'll talk then. Or how about 2 o'clock? How about if we go out and have tea or coffee at 3 o'clock? No, that's too late. It'll mess your sleep.
How many times have you said that to me? I'm just trying to think. So many times.
Yeah, so many times. but seriously,
that's important, though.
If you announce to the person, that way they know you're not rejecting them. You're not rejecting your relationship with them. You're just rejecting the argument that at the moment probably won't go well. And so you say time out until. I had one couple I was coaching. In fact, I did their wedding, so I did their premarital preparation. I said, you need a timeout signal. I'm going to ask you next week what it is. And they came in. I said, what's your timeout signal? They said, red. I said, red? Yes. Yeah, redirect emotional distress. I like that. I said, how about code red? Danger. Danger. If we try to talk right now, it might not go well. How about code red, 1 o'clock, code red, 3 o'clock, code red, 5 o'clock, what have you. So you're letting the person know, hey, I'm not in a good state to talk right now. It's too dangerous. It's too fragile, what have you. I need a timeout, but I will talk to you about this. Typically within 24 hours. Scott, you really want to wait a minimum of 30 minutes, I'm told. You know, your cortisol is racing, your adrenaline, all your bodily systems are on hyper alert, what have you. Give yourself a good 30 minutes for those to calm down before you try to pick up the conversation again. But shouldn't be any longer than 24 hours, except by mutual benefit. You know, you got an event coming up, you want to postpone the conversation, okay. But again, whoever calls the time out is responsible to schedule the time in.
Got you. And that's important, not just let's talk later. You've got to really have a specific
perfect
time and date, right?
Because later often doesn't happen, does it?
No. Later, later is when, it was a month later, a year later? See you next decade? I don't know.
That's exactly right. Next lifetime?
Right.
Whatever. No, you're spot on. By saying the exact time, you're letting the person know, hey, we are going to talk about this, and this is when. And so then you can both come prepared to that discussion. You can both make sure you're not hungry or tired or lonely or, what's the other one, angry. Halt.
Yeah.
You can make sure you're prepared for that conversation. And by the way, Scott, there's 2 ways that you can tell another adult that we should have a timeout. You can say, I need a timeout, or I think we need a timeout. Scott, what should you never say to another adult?
You need a timeout, young man.
Yeah.
Go to your corner.
You'll quickly find out how much they do. That's inflammatory.
Yeah.
But no, say, I need a timeout, we need a timeout. Say, our relationship is too important to try to carry on this conversation where one or both of us are not prepared to do so. Call a timeout the correct way, schedule the time, and then use the love talk, LUV. How about if we cover that the next time?
Okay. I like it.
I like it too.
There you go. Very good. That's Ron Price. He is here with me with great advice, just like you heard, every Wednesday on KSJE Farmington.